So I think a willingness from advertisers to embrace publisher first-party data helps publishers realise the true value of our environments. Because publishers who are using first-party data to understand audiences are best placed to help advertisers reach their goals in those environments, because we really understand what our audiences are doing, what user journeys look like, and therefore the best time and place in those journeys to show ads to those users. That being said, publishers still need to work really closely with advertisers and agencies because there's a lack of transparency around measurement and attribution. So as an example, publishers can see what Google reports as clicks and viewability in the ad server, but in the main, we're not going to be judged on Google's reported data, we'll be judged on agency data. So whether that's clicks and viewability, attention, engaged sessions, some kind of customer purchase, we need to understand how we're being judged on agency data. So overall, I think the shift towards first-party data for targeting and insights is really positive, but there's still a long way to go. So first and foremost, I think publishers need to respect their relationships with users. So being clear about the data that's being collected and why. I'd like to see publishers being a lot clearer about the value exchange with users, and that includes Gumtree, as it's not something we've done yet, but we have got ambition to do that in the coming year. So, for example, on Gumtree, we're giving users the ability to search for items or services for free, and in most cases list those items or services for free as well. And in return, users are allowing us to use their browsing behaviour to show them more relevant ads. And I don't think publishers have done an amazing job, or that's not fair. Not all publishers have done an amazing job at being explicit about that value exchange. I think most sacrosanct is when users are logged in and they're sharing some kind of personal information with us. So whether that's preferences or demographic information or even simply email address. Generally speaking, those are our most valuable users because they're most valuable from an advertising point of view, but also from a customer point of view, because they tend to be our most loyal users. So I think it's firstly to build a trustful relationship with users, and then having a clear strategy around what data you're going to collect and why, making sure that data collection is appropriate, and then deciding what you're going to use that data for and who you'll share it with. And I think that also helps inform the kind of technology partners that you need to work with to achieve your goals. So for Gumtree, we were sold by our previous owner a few years ago, and that meant that almost all of our dev resource for 2 years was focused on extracting ourselves from various platforms and service agreements, which we shared with other companies in the group. So we did do a data management platform migration during that time, but our choice of vendor was very much led by its service levels and by the fact that they could help us operationalise the data that we already had available, because we knew we were not going to get, or we were unlikely to get, further resource to make changes to the integration or ingest further data down the line. And then from a strategic point of view, we're starting to share some standard IAB cohorts in open marketplace across various SSPs. But this data is pretty high level, and I would say not really a step change from what's just available for targeting by URL in open marketplace today. But for our access to our more fully defined taxonomy, which is currently over 700 segments, you'd need to work directly with us. So it would be pretty easy for an advertiser to target motors on gumtree.com or by targeting our sister site motors.co.uk. But if you were wanting to target people looking at SUVs worth over 30 grand, you'd need to buy directly with us. So I think the Google journey to date has opened up a lot of conversations that we just weren't having 5 years ago, even though we all knew that we needed to have them. So we're starting to have a lot more conversations and do a lot more testing around things like IDs, contextual advertising, different attribution models, targeting Safari and app inventory. So for me, I'd really love the ATS panel to continue on this theme, and I guess just let marketers know that publishers are really open to working with them on new solutions that make their campaigns work and prove the value of our media.